Everyone likes a good jump and scare every now and then, but there are some horror movies that will just stay with you forever. Something just simply cannot be unseen. Welcome back to another video on the channel, guys. Today we're looking at the scariest horror movies that will haunt you for days. Starting off at number 10, Halloween, 1978. This classic movie, directed by John Carpenter, is a classic horror film for a reason. The creepy story follows a villain wearing a blank William Shatner mask who lurks around town and stalks the babysitters in the fictional town of Haddonfield, Illinois. The movie stars Jamie Lee Curtis, who you probably would take a moment or two to recognize with her long hair. She truly proved that she is a real scream queen with this movie. Her blood-curdling screams will ring in your ears even after you finish watching this one. The movie begins with a child murdering his sister while wearing a alien mask. It is the typical stalk-and-slash movie that has set standards that are yet to be rivaled. The cinematography is out of this world, and at least for back in the day, and it gives you a sick sense of claustrophobia even while watching the movie. The soundtrack is phenomenal and was created by the director John Carpenter himself. Maybe that's how he was able to get the direction right on point with all the chills-inducing moments. What's even better is the 2018 sequel is just as good. Number 9, Alien. Aliens is arguably one of the greatest movies on science fiction to ever exist, and it also happens to be extremely horrific. The aliens from Ridley Scott sends the crew of the Nostromo in order to investigate a distress call that was received from an abandoned alien spaceship. But just like any horror movie, the whole group will not make it back. What makes it so scary is the premise of the spaceship that's light years away from home. Geiger's alien is a terrifying monster that you do not want to mess with. The creature is a multi-layered bottomless pit of psychosexual horror. It preys in very primal terrors, and what makes it eerily creepy. The action and suspense is on point, with everyone tensely wondering what's that in the shadows. Not only that, some of the scenes are simply too horrific to watch and so grotesque that we don't think you'll be able to eat much for days. If you're a horror fanatic, then this is definitely one you'll love. Number 8, Insidious. This supernatural thriller follows the story of a boy who slips into a coma and then begins to channel a malevolent spirit. Before The Conjuring, James Wan brought us this masterpiece to a film. The premise of the film isn't exactly original, but combined with some mythology and compelling storytelling, it was made into 3 movies. It was the director's goal to make something that was horrific on a more spiritual and soul-deep level. Something that doesn't leave you easily, unlike the gore-induced horror that can be forgotten eventually. The movie was a success and has some of the best jump scares in any horror movie so far, so if that sounds like something you would like, then go ahead and watch this one. Number 7, Sinister. Before making Doctor Strange, Scott Derrickson gave us this classic masterpiece. Insidious is a small-scale haunted house and a possession story of a true crime writer who moves into a house with his wife and kids where the previous family was murdered. As you can imagine, things aren't going to be very fun for the family. The story of the film was actually written by Robert Cargill, who had a nightmare after watching The Ring. The dramatic reveal and creepy set is what really makes this movie stand out from the rest. There are many who even argue that this is the scariest movie ever and that they had recurring nightmares after watching it. The movie stays true to its name, and the fact that it was born out of a nightmare resulting from an equally horrific movie, The Ring, is truly eerie. Number 6, The Thing. The title may completely throw you off, but do not be fooled. This movie just happens to be one of the most splattered and intense horror movies of all time. It follows a group of Americans at an Antarctic research station where they take on The Thing. And this thing infected blood. The creepy premise and the fact that something so horrific and evil could be spreading through blood just increases the horror factor to a whole different degree. The movie is more based on physicality and intense paranoia and is definitely not meant for the faint-hearted. If you're not a fan of gore, then definitely skip this one so you don't see a chest eating an arm, decapitated heads, and body parts. Number 5, The Shining. Even just saying the name of the movie sends a sharp tingle down the spine. The Shining follows the story of a man and his family as he takes on the role of the caretaker of a resort hotel called the Overlook during the winter. Pretty harmless so far, right? Well, hold on. As it turns out, the Overlook doesn't really like people. What's so eerily creepy about this movie is not gore and jump scares, but the fact that it actually feels evil. There is an underlying feeling that you are watching something so dark and depraved that it really crawls through your skin. Jack Nicholson's descent into insanity as he turns into a murderer. You'll hear, "Here's Johnny" for days in your head. We follow Danny as he navigates through the hotel doors, and viewers are always worried about what's coming up next. Chopped up little girls, bloody elevator, The Terrors from Room 237? The movie is sure to get your blood pumping, so just don't watch alone. Number 4. Hereditary, 2018. This is a family horror film based around the mother of a grieving family who just lost her own mother. The death has sent the whole family into a shockwave and things are not going to get better for them. The movie does not let its watchers take a steady and safe breath even for a minute through the 2 hours of its runtime. Hereditary is a great example of modern-day horror, and the movie just makes you feel so unsafe and antsy. The movie will leave you with questions like if it's even a horror movie about the supernatural or just a really crazy exercise in grief. Every breath feels heavy and every moment will make you bite your nails in anticipation. Number 3. The Conjuring. This is one of the most popular and successful horror movies in the last few decades without a doubt. There is no horror fan out there who won't mention the movie on their top 10 list. It is based on the true-life events of the experiences by the real-life paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens are actually best known for their work on the strange case that inspired all of the Amityville horror movies. The fact that this is all things that have actually happened is what makes this a truly very frightful and real experience for the viewer. It has all the jump scares and goosebumps-inducing moments you could ask for. Number 2. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It is yet to be decided if this movie is the most horrifying of the most grotesque and disgusting you will ever see in your life. Imagine all your worst nightmares put together, but with chainsaws. The name of the movie itself is very to the point about what you can expect to see. This movie is sheer horror and gore, accompanied by an equally disturbing soundtrack that's randomly played in your head without you even thinking about it. The movie is based on a tour de force of sorts, following 5 young people leaving the safety of the world in their journey to the dusty Americana. Here they will stumble upon a house that is filled with so much death and deprivation that you will be sick to the stomach and completely horrified. And topping our list at number 1, The Exorcist, 1973. Right at the top, we can have the most visceral, primeval, and unpredictable movie yet. There is no way you can call yourself a horror movie fan if you haven't seen this one. It's almost like a rite of passage. Even in the happiest moments of this movie, it is absolutely anxiety-inducing. The story revolves around Regan, the daughter of a movie actress who was playing in the basement with a Ouija board, and slowly, an unwelcome guest, the exorcist, enters into the girl and also into cinema history. The movie has been praised for its authenticity when actors actually had to be frozen in a refrigerator bedroom and got dragged across the set to show the demon's physical prowess. If you love a good versus evil story, then this is one for you. And with that being said, it's time to end our video, but before that, we want to know what is your favorite horror movie of all time. You know what to do, see you in the comments section, and we hope you enjoyed this video. Consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and we'll see you soon. Thank you for watching.